Hey guys, so I have this Holly Berry eye look for you today. I did one for Instagram and a few of you requested it, so I thought I would bring it to YouTube for you guys. So I hope that you enjoy it. Also, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays! So we're gonna start out with the glitter brow. So I'm just brushing my brows out to begin with, and now I'm gonna take a gold and a silver eyeliner to base out my glitter. That way we won't see any of my dark hairs underneath if I happen to get some small patches that don't totally get covered with glitter. I'm going in with the gold first and then the silver over top, but you can do this in whatever colors that you want. The NYX gel liners also work really great for this to really flatten out the brow hairs. Then I'm just lightly pressing over my brows to help flatten the hairs down a little bit, and I'll be using eyelash glue to adhere the glitter to my brows. You can also use a specific glitter adhesive if you've got one. I don't have one at the moment, and this will be harder to remove than glitter adhesive, but if you have like the oil-free eye makeup remover, like the Neutrogena one or something similar, that works really well to help get that off without harming any of your brow hairs. So I'm doing this in thirds just to make sure that my glue doesn't dry before I get the glitter on. So I'm applying the glue, letting it dry for a minute so it's a bit more tacky rather than wet, and then I'm taking a different brush to stipple on the glitter over top. And if you do need to clean up the glue or adhesive, just make sure to do so while it's still wet and is very easily movable. And I decided to use two different colors of glitter, so I'll be doing 2 layers, just repeating what we did with the gold. I'm then taking a fluffy brush to help brush away some of that glitter fallout, but for this look in particular, I didn't really mind having a little bit of glitter around. And then if you need to, you can take a little bit of concealer around the brow to clean it up. So that's how I've been doing my glitter brows as of late, and I will warn you, it's pretty addicting and you want to do it in every single color, and it will stay put for several hours. Moving on to the eyeshadow, I'm starting out with some primer, of course, and I'm going in with a color that matches my skin pretty well and just applying that all over the lid as well as underneath everywhere that I have the primer, just so that we have a nice base to blend on so we get rid of the stickiness. I'm then going in with a green eyeliner to start defining the top of that cut crease. So now I'm using a black body paint to start outlining the holly leaves. You could also use an eyeliner for this or even an eyeshadow. And this doesn't need to be perfect since we are going to fill it in. And if you do need to, you can clean around the outside with concealer once you're done. So as you can see, I did one leaf coming out of that cut crease, one underneath my eye, and then I did them smaller than I did before. So I put one in between those two as well. And I'm now using Jeffree Star's Mistletoe Velour Liquid Lipstick. This one was a limited edition holiday shade, and I'm not positive if it's still in stock. If it is, I'll link it down below. So I'm just using that to fill in all the leaves, and I'm taking that up onto that cut crease as well. Then I'm also starting to blend that down toward the lid, and I'm just going to very gradually add a little bit of product and then blend out with my Sigma E39 Buff and Blend to really get a nice fade. And if you don't have this exact product, you could always use a green body paint or a cream eyeshadow, gel liner, a regular powder eyeshadow. These lipsticks are eye safe as well as vegan and long wear, so I thought it would be a good choice. Now I'm going in with a little bit of a darker green eyeshadow. This one is from NYX and it's in the shade Kush. And I'm just applying that all over the top of Mistletoe. This is going to make it a little bit darker as well as even out the color. Then I'm going back in with my Sigma E39 to blend that out. The next shade I'll be using is a loose pigment from Sugar Pill. This one is Absinthe and it is absolutely gorgeous. And I'm just applying this to the center of the leaves, and then I'm just going to wipe that same brush off and then blend it out a little bit. And a little bit of these go a long way, so you just need the tiniest bit for this. And again, just wiping that brush off and using that same one again, I'm going in with some dry black Mehron Paradise paint and creating some shading around the inside edges of all the leaves. You could also use a black eyeshadow. And again, you just need the smallest amount. Now I'm going in with the tiniest detail brush that I have. This one is actually a paint brush. And I'm going in with some wet black Mehron Paradise paint to redefine all the edges. While the paint's still a little bit wet, I'm going to blend that in for some more shading, and then I'm adding some highlights using my concealer and then just very gently blending those out. Then for the actual lid, I'm using a Summerfly from Kat Von D as well as a Prismatic Shadow from NYX in the shade Tin. And I'm starting out with the gold shade and focusing that on the outer half, but I am blending that in toward the inner corner, and then the silver is going on the inner half, blending that into the gold, down onto the inner corner as well as onto the lower lash line. I'm then going in with the NYX Primal Color in the shade Hot Red, and I'm focusing that on the very outer corner, just slightly blending that up onto the top lid, and then I'm also going to blend that almost all the way across the lower lash line. And side note, I wasn't really paying attention to how close I got that bottom leaf to my lower lash line, so I did have to kind of blend over that and then redefine that edge again with the black body paint. Then once I've blended the red across the lower lash line, I decided to go in with Kat Von D's Telepathy and apply that at the inner corner and blend that into the red on the lower lash line. Then I'm using a white eyeshadow to highlight under the brow. Now I'm going to curl my lashes and apply a black eyeliner to my lower waterline. And then before that sets completely, I'm going to smudge that down onto the lash line just a little bit. I'm also using that black liner to tightline, and then I'm going in with Tarte's Lights Camera Splashes Mascara and applying just a little bit to the top and bottom lashes. I will be applying false lashes later on, so I really just want to black them out. Then I'm using Jeffree Star's Redrum on a pointed silicone brush for the little holly berry dots. I'm doing 3 just under the arch of my brow and then 3 around the inner corner. I had these smaller but then decided to go in and make them a little bit bigger since I decided to put the rhinestones on them, and I wanted to make sure that I had enough space for those rhinestones. Again, I'm using eyelash adhesive to adhere these rhinestones to the skin, and I am dotting the lash glue on, letting it sit for a minute so it can get tacky, and then placing each rhinestone on. And I didn't have any problems with the rhinestones coming loose at the inner corner. They stayed for several hours, but if you do have super watery eyes, it may be an issue, so just keep that in mind. And then for my lashes, I'm using some of the NYX Wicked lashes in the shades in the styles Scandal and Sinful, and I've stacked them. And I was a little impatient, so my glue was still a little bit wet when I applied them, but I went ahead and applied from the outer corner and then just made sure the entire band was secure. Alright guys, that will complete this look. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you want me to do more close-up eye looks like this or maybe lip art, let me know down in the comments because I would love to do them. This was definitely a challenge filming up close and personal, but I got through it. So I hope that you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for sticking with me this year. It's been a bit of a roller coaster, but I love you guys, so thank you so much for everything. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I will see you in 2016.